too hot what I'm cooking. Out back, try and get in until I realize I don't even think I fit in. Already got what it takes, got options, so can't nobody stop me today. Turning the keys to the safe, pushing through the gate, now I'm seizing the day. Grind it, I'ma put the time in, diamond. Go and turn it up till I'm shining, wildin'. Breakneck speed when I'm driving, silence. I'm just trying to check the mileage. Now I'm going up like a pilot. Houston, I don't think they used to the problem. I got a boost with the crowd, get loud now. Yeah, I'm coming down and get ready or not. I'm coming in. If you ready or not. I'm coming in. Are you ready? Ready? Coming in hot if you ready or not. If you ready or not. If you ready or not. I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. Guess who came with the danger? Look at how far we came up. Worlds apart, we like strangers. Bet they wish they could change us. Don't hold your breath, I've been waiting for this moment. Behold the best. Kept secret in the world, we control the steps. We waited for our time, now we are the great. This is how you overcome. Never quit, get until it's overdone. Where they at? I feel like I'm the only one. I got the passion, hold on out 'cause we just begun. It's my time, the breaks off. High ground, take off. Shake off, wake off. I'm coming in. You ready or not? I'm coming in. Are you ready? I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. You ready or not? You ready or not? I'm coming in hot if you ready or not. Turn it up till I'm shining, wildin'. Breakneck speed when I'm driving, silence. I'm just trying to check the mileage. Now I'm going up like a pilot. Houston, I don't think they used to the problem. I got a boost with the crowd, get loud now. Yeah, I'm coming down if you ready or not. I'm coming in. If you ready or not. I'm coming in. Are you ready? Coming in hot if you ready or not. Look at how far we came up. Worlds apart, we like strangers. Bet they wish they could change us. Don't hold your breath, I've been waiting for this moment. Behold the best. Kept secret in the world, we control the steps. We waited for our time, now we are the great. This is how you overcome. Never quit, get until it's overdone. Where they at? I feel like I'm the only one. I got the passion, hold on out 'cause we just begun. It's my time, the breaks off. High ground, take off. Shake off, wake off. I'm coming in. You ready or not? I'm coming in. Are you ready? You ready or not?
Revolution, get on your motherfucking feet. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Behind the Voice, the number one E-Fed in all of the universe, the best of the best, the home of the Bare Bones Championship, the home of the undefeated reigning A-list Alverson, the home of the exclusive Harry, the home of the exclusive Josh Steele, the home of the exclusive Warden, and many, many more. This week's been a rough week for the Revolution, but we still stand up on our feet, and it is time for us to put all that behind us, kick our shoes off, take our shields off, have a relaxing night, no drama, just good show and good quality fun. One person knows all about good quality fun is, of course, my host tonight, my guest tonight, which is Mr. Stumpy, one half of your newly crowned tag team champions of Circus Hollywood. I got to say, before I bring this man out here, I want to start this off by saying this is one of the most humble, drama-free, kind, never says a harsh word to anyone type dudes. This is also a dude that you can say has definitely took his lumps in the promo world as far as finding himself as a talent, working his ass off, never asked to be handed anything. If you told him to face someone, to put himself in some kind of position, he'd do it. It was never about with this guy. It was never about I deserve this or I deserve that or I deserve to win or you screwed me. It was never nothing with this guy. This guy's 100% humble, all class. I give to you. Let me find his intro here. We have to give him an intro. Wait a minute. I got it somewhere. Oh, here it is. Mr. One half of your I'm got tongue tied. One half of the Revolution Tag Team Champions, Stumpy. What's up, Stumpy? What's up?
Man, I love that beat every time I hear it.
You know, I got to say, I usually, and I said this the other day, I am not usually fond of the circus clown gimmick stuff. And that's only because it's been done so many times. It's been done 1,001 times with the clowns and the circus stuff. But I got to say, you have put a twist on it. Haywood has put a twist on it. Y'all have something going. It's kind of magical what y'all two are kind of doing together. So y'all have definitely made me fans of what y'all are doing. And as far as like you with Fred and you know, I ain't gonna lie, even when you brought Fred out, I'm not a doubter, but it is damn hard to make stuff like that work. And
don't say his name too many times.
not just make it work. But the simple fact that you have to, the fact that you can make it work as long as you already have, because that would have probably went stale. It probably would have went stale within the first couple of weeks with some people. They wouldn't have been able to keep getting it over. But you have found a way to keep getting it over. I think you even had a loss or two with that clown gimmick, haven't you?
My first one. It was for the Bare Bones title.
For the Bare Bones title. So even with the loss, that would have made instantly someone throw it almost out the door.
Yeah. I still say Steel cheated though. I never did see his bare bone.
You never did see his bare bone. He said you gotta watch Steel. He'd be trying to put his bare bone in your mouth. Let's see here. Take some look over some of the comments. There's Mr. Mike Murder. Mike Murder said Stumpy has the greatest comeback ever. Never gave up and kept kicking ass.
Thanks.
Every time I hear that song, it makes me want to break shit and rock out. Now, I don't know if you're talking about.
That was y'all's intro, not mine. Nobody rocks out intro, the circus. Yeah.
Or their circus intro. That is a pretty bad. Thank you, Mr. Warden. I worked hard on that clock in damn ticker. That damn boring ass other one we had. I just couldn't take it. It would bore me, and I would have Patrick sitting there talking to me, and it bored me having to look at it. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the one we ordered. Hold on, I got one from Matt. One of my favorite things about this guy is how many times he's teed starting promos for a long time before starting promos.
Leave it to Matt to bring up old stuff. That wasn't my fault.
I swear,
that wasn't my fault.
The promo world is like an elephant; they never forget.
Yeah, that wasn't my
fault.
Never. I found out about this and I jumped into it right off the go, and then we bought a house and had to get it remodeled to move in. So I was like, well, I can't really do that right now, but I'll just keep teasing. And then I come out and suck. So there was that. Yeah.
Well, as always, we usually started off with
humble. Start off with this while we're at it. First of all.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that tag beauty.
Team championship. Ain't it gorgeous?
Yes, it is. I finally always wanted to have one of these to just sit on screen with, you know?
Just to sit. I know where you're coming from. When you see everybody else with one, you're like, I want one of those.
Thanks to Fred, we're the champions.
Yeah, thanks to Fred. He did get the pin, didn't he?
Fred's got more wins than I do.
That is true. That is true.
Undefeated.
I have to also know. I also have to bring up. So, did you think that it was going to work working with Haywood? Did you think that y'all would have any kind of chemistry, like it would be able to click or any kind of thing like that, or do you just think, oh shit, okay, this would just be some bullshit that we're gonna have to go through? And
I was hoping so because that's all I seen in the comments: stumping Haywood, stumping Haywood, stumping Haywood. I'm like, it's got to work. I think it's kind of ironic though. You know, I teamed with Hodgson, and he kind of ended the Warrior and turned his back on me, and then I get his partner, and guess what? It works. Maybe I wasn't the weak link.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Hodgson. Usually with what I was saying earlier was we usually like to go back to humble beginnings. So what we usually like to do is we like to kind of take it back a little bit and kind of find out a little bit about Stump the person, not so much the character to begin with. So where are you from, where you grew up at, all those kind of things, what you do for a living, how many kids you got?
Well, I'm from central Louisiana, Winfield. I've lived here for, I'll be 35 in July, 32 years because I moved off for 3 years, but I came back and got one kid. I work, do a little construction. I'm kind of like, y'all have counties, we have parishes. I work for the parish government and do roads and culverts and stuff like that. About it. Simple.
Well, have you always, how old do you think that you was when you started getting into wrestling? Because I know you're also just a big wrestling fan also.
I would say probably the time I got pushed out. I've been watching wrestling my entire life.
Oh, so you said you was how old again?
I'll be 35 in July, so
okay,
4 years, definitely.
You're around my age, so yeah, so you definitely grew up in the WCW era and the Attitude Era and all that kind of stuff. Was you a WCW guy or a WWF guy? Because the way you just made that face.
Well, I did the whole watch WCW till Raw came on thing, and then yeah, I was more of a WWE guy. To me, back then, not knowing at the time, wrestling was choreographed. Right. I could always tell that WCW wasn't real just from watching it. But I mean, I was a fan of their product, but I preferred WWE because I mean they had.
You know, it was so crazy when you're a kid like that. Those camera angles really get you.
Yeah,
they really do get you, man. I remember when I was a kid and I grew up watching stuff like Hogan and them, and then I was at someone's house when I was a child and I was watching New Japan or something, and it looked so terrible.
Yeah.
Because like they wouldn't even hit them, like they wouldn't even hit each other. And it was just like, what the hell? It was because of the camera angle. And I remember
it's even worse when you grew up watching it and then you start going to indie shows and you're like, he didn't even hit him. Like,
yeah. Why is he telling him he's going to flip him?
Why is his hands up when he's getting hit with the chair? Take it like a man. Come on.
Yeah. Why is he telling him? Because if you go to those indie shows, you know, it's small, it's quiet, it's not that loud. So, you know, a lot of times, and especially if you sit up front, if you're near that ring, a lot of times, if the amateurs don't know how to be quiet sometimes for calling their
Yeah.
spots, and you'll hear them straight up calling each other spots, talking to each other, and it's like,
And I always had good seats because we always took my grandpa, and he was in a wheelchair, so we got the handicap section. So like nobody stood up in front of us, nobody got in our way. Clear shot at the ring, awesome.
what's the best show you ever been to?
Oh, really? The indie shows personally, because you go to like WWE and events live, like they're what you would call professionals. Indie shows is more like crowd fueled. You know what I'm saying? Like WWE's like they're doing it whether your crowd's there or not, but indie shows kind of like feed off the crowd, and there's a lot more wrestler fan interaction, and I really like that more than the sport of
Yeah.
going to watch it. You know?
Well, it's because they've not made it yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they need that exposure, so they're not dicks.
I mean, I watched a show here at our high school gym that was like they didn't even have a guardrail around the ring, and like somebody threw like Blue Meanie out of the ring, and like he landed on our feet. We just like kicked him off. It's like get back in the ring. I mean, that's great to me. That's like better than anything on TV. It's the fanfare of it.
Right. Yeah, once they make it, it's which you. I try not to give wrestlers too much shit about that because God, they get hounded everywhere they go. If you're on
Yeah.
TV, it's constantly they're up your ass like everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I hear these stories now about like Steve Austin flying, commercial airlines and stuff, and he would always have this thing where it covered his face and have to cover it, put his sunglasses on and put his hat on, and I mean they'd bug the shit out of him if they seen him in the airport. So.
And so that's the good part about indie wrestling. Like, you don't know. Like, I went to wash my hands in the restroom, and like homeboys in there just combing his hair and spraying up with water, fitting to go to the ring. I'm like, holy crap! Like, it's a whole wrestler dude. Like, it was like he was just a normal person. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, what? Really? This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, he is a normal person.
Yeah. 9 to 5.
Yeah, he probably some of those some of those indie wrestlers do 9 to 5 jobs all day. So.
I know. I work with one.
Shows put more forth the effort. Experience is amazing. These shows are on top box.
Yes, sure. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Wait till you go to an AEW show. You'll appreciate that because to me, an AEW show has an indie feel to it.
Yeah.
Their shows have an indie feel because at the end of it, when those shows are over, Tony makes those superstars, makes someone come out and interact with the fans, and you can walk down there to the edge and interact with them.
That's awesome.
So. He made the Bucks and them come and Cole and them come out there and interact with everybody because they did the way that the show ended. He's like, well, to punish you guys, you have to stand out here and take pictures with fans, and sign some autographs and shit. So
I'd kill to go to AEW show. I'm ready.
It's worth it, man. It's worth it. Like I said, me and Patrick paid $30-something a ticket, and we got a 5-hour show. It was like a mega pay-per-view.
I used to go all the time, and then they quit coming around here until Brandon and them started their deal, and I like go to all their shows because it don't come around here anymore. It used to be like at least once or twice every 6 months. I was going like an hour up the road to watch wrestling. It was like great.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of other shows like SmackDowns and Raws and stuff like that. But Patrick's been to pay-per-views. I ain't never been to a pay-per-view like that, not a major one anyway. So. All right, let's go ahead and move it along. Let's see here. One of the things I love to ask people is always their top 5 wrestlers. Can you give me 5 of some of your top 5 wrestlers? They don't have to be in any kind of order. You don't have to put the best to the worst or worst to the best because to me that's too impossible. Actually, to me it's impossible for me to narrow it down to like 20. I have so many guys I like to watch for different reasons, but if you could try to almost narrow it down to 5 or round it back or something.
Well, definitely Taker and Austin's on the list for sure. Because that was like my faves growing up. Then let's see, I would probably say.
Well, I have to bring it up. Which Taker is your favorite? Is it?
I like all of them really, but I like the more like the gray pants, cut up sleeves Taker, like the kind of when he first started Taker, when he was more mysterious than he is now. And
back when he did no talking and Paul did all
Yeah. Oh, I love Paul Bear. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put him on my list. He's not a wrestler technically, but Paul
I
Bear.
definitely have that.
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely
Yeah.
can make a list of managers easily.
Then I
You know,
probably
Paul
have to-
Bear's from Mobile, Alabama. So he's
Oh.
an Alabama guy. So it's fucking awesome. And I didn't know that all my life growing up. I didn't learn that until I was an adult.
Oh, Percy Pringle.
Yep.
And let's see, who else would I put? I would probably scratching what he's got going on now. I would have to put Sting on there just because of his longevity. And he's always been Sting. Even when he strayed away, he was still Sting. Let's see. God, this one's gonna catch heat. Wrestling alone, no other drama extra. Benoit.
He's in a lot of people.
I gotta put him on there.
I mean, you talk to a lot of professional wrestlers and they put Benoit in their top 5.
Yes,
They have to. They're like, if we're talking just professional wrestling,
yeah,
Chris Benoit is easily a top 5 guy. Easily.
Probably my last one. I'm gonna kind of have to go with like Vader because I always like the big man thing because like Vader was really well beyond his size.
I've loved that was that, and especially back then because now you got Keith Lee, you got so many other big guys that do stuff that big guys shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, but Vader was like Jeff Hardy in the ring.
Yeah,
like, you look at him, you're like, did he just hit a moonsault? Like, what the crap? You don't expect that.
You had back then. I loved because I love Vader too. You had Vader and you had Bam Bam Bigelow, who was a big man that could do those could do those big ass fucking off the top stuff. So, I love Vader, man. Vader's pretty awesome. Yeah. I don't dog nobody if they want to put Vader in their top 5 easily.
Vader, I mean, that's. I remember he come out with that mask on with the hoses on like Baywatch, and then I was like, holy crap, that is awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You know, he's childhood inbred into our DNA because he was like, if you watch like Corey Meets World and all that other shit, Vader's been around on a lot of kid stuff. Vader would show up for kid stuff also. So
Baywatch, Boy Meets World. Yeah. Hey Tommy, this ought to make you happy.
Oh, fuck off. Pepsi. It's hot garbage, man. It's hot garbage. Coca-Cola is the way to go. You know what? I swear to God, I'm going to have a fucking pay-per-view one time. It's just Team Coke versus Team Pepsi.
Obviously, CM Punk's Team Pepsi. I'm just saying.
Oh, of course he fucking is. Everybody can't be perfect,
I like Coke Zero. I ain't gonna lie, I like Coke Zero, but these are on sale, so I got these this time.
I'll be 100% honest with you. We had this chat today in the admin chat. We was talking about soda. I said, it's fucking terrible for you, period. So, I don't need to be drinking none of it. Good. Yeah, none of it's good. So,
none of it's good.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, y'all have some questions. Think over some questions. Put some questions in the inbox over here in the comment section. Questions for Stumpy. If you got anything that you would like to know, think of something good. Hell, ask Fred a question. Fred here, he'll give you an answer. I promise you. He may, but only questions he can nod yes or no to.
Hang on. Let me see if I can do yes. Okay, we're good.
It's all about the cherry Coke. Let me tell you something. I love cherry Coke. I can't stand Pepsi, but if I have to drink something that is a Pepsi itself, now I'll drink it'll be the wild cherry Pepsi. That's as close as I can get to liking Pepsi itself. Now I like other Pepsi products that they make, like Mountain Dew and some of the other stuff, but Pepsi itself to me is fucking disgusting, dude. I don't like it. All right, we're gonna go take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
So you've spent your life as a wrestling fan. Have you gotten bored of what you've seen on TV and thought to yourself that with your creativity and artistic talent, if you were in control of the characters, you could make an awesome show? Welcome to Revolution. Use your promo skills to play the part, become the star, and compete for real championship belts. Whether your style is bare bones, or you're an outbreak or tag team talent, or even if you want to compete for the grand prize, the Revolution World Championship. It's real fun, real easy, and you can become a champion holding a real belt. Join today.
I am the real CEO of Revolution, and this is Fight Night! See, I'm the king of the ring. Ring the bell and I'm coming out swing. Swinging left, swinging right till they ding. He hit the ground, bounced up like a spring. Hit him again, I like a birdie, start to sing. Bright lights, cameras flashing like bling. He started seeing things. Now I got him as an knees on the floor, crawling to the corner crying. I'm the man, there's no defeating. And the ground, you will be eating. I wreck shop non-stop, this is easy. Put him out the game like his name, Willie Bananas. We gon' hit him with the left, hit him with the right. We gon' hit him with the left, hit him with the right. It's a fight, head bust him, head bust him. It's a fight, head bust him, head bust him. We gon' hit him with the left, hit him with the right. We gon' hit him with the left, hit him with the right. It's a fight, head bust him, head bust him. It's a fight, head bust him, head bust him. Here we go again with these cowards that be haters. Jealous of the 3-6, cause we get not paper. We'll
Mr. Wallace says he needs to smoke a fatty but daddy with Mr. Fred there. Hey, I'll get in that circle, Mr. Wallace. I'll get in that
he'll
circle.
melt. He'll melt.
We'll kidnap his ass. Me and Mr. Wallace will kidnap him, take him down on 31st Street, get him smoke a J with him, get him some.
I gotta watch him this weekend. Make sure you don't get a hold of them brownies.
Yeah. You got to watch the Sweet Brothers. They're pretty sneaky with that kind of stuff. Speaking of the Sweet Brothers, let's go ahead and talk about that match. Now we're going to move along with some of these other like regular questions, but to talk about promo stuff for a minute. How are you feeling good about going into the match against the Sweet Brothers? It's non-title, but if they beat y'all, they make a really good case why they could be number one contenders.
Yeah, and if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump his ass every time it jumps. I'm just saying.
I think it's going to be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, I love the Sweets. I've yet to go against either one of them one-on-one, but I love working with the
Really?
Sweets. Yeah.
Wow, I never know that.
Me and Little Sweet's been in a few triple threats.
It kills me
Big Sweet
sometimes
was a tag
how,
match.
as long as some of us has been promoting together, people say things like that every once in a while. Be like, oh, well, me and such never had a one-on-one match. And I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, how did I book all this stuff that I've booked in the past couple of years and I did not put y'all versus each other? Like, it's
me
crazy,
and Ed's
man.
never had a match.
Wow, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Like, how does that happen, man?
No, I went after all the big people. I was like, hey, you want a match? Yeah, I'll take him.
How hard is it to live with Fred, and does he always take up the bathroom first?
No, he stays in the shed mostly. He does his own thing out there. He's got a sink if he needs something.
You can't live with Fred out there in that shed come summertime, man. That's abuse. That's partner abuse.
He abuses me. What's it matter?
It'd be hot outside, man. It'd be hot
He's
out. Louisiana heat.
I can't even cut a promo without him popping up. I mean, it's unfair around here. He don't even pay any bills.
Are you a Jim Cornette guy?
Next question, please.
All right, next question. Well, then are you
shut up?
Then are you a Vince Russo guy?
I think personally, at one time each of them was good at their trade, but now I think they're just clinging to life and should probably just shut up once in a while.
Is Fred planning to make a wrestling debut soon? I would love to see. You're hearing it here now. I would love to see Fred versus the promo queen.
Well, as soon as I learn ventriloquism, we'll see about that. I mean, give him a warm up match first. Don't just throw him in there with a beast like that. I mean, dang.
If you could book a main event at any at WrestleMania right now with the current superstars or past superstars, who would you like to see in that main event?
Okay, by current, you mean their current status? Like, I mean, we talking like if I was to say Undertaker, we talking like Undertaker currently, or just Undertaker in general?
No, it would be Undertaker, best of Undertaker.
Okay,
you know.
so, oh shit. Really, honestly, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm not a big fan of really either one of them, but I would love to see Prime Bret Hart versus Prime CM Punk. Just for the promos alone and the technicality in the ring, I think that'd be a pretty good match.
Yeah, you know, I don't take nothing away from Bret Hart as a competitor, as far as you know his wrestling skill ability. CM Punk wrestles a lot like Bret Hart, and that's why some people don't like CM Punk in today's world, because CM Punk is a real worker. He likes to work your arm, he likes to work your leg, he likes to work your neck, he likes to kind of set up these move sets, and he's a slow worker. And then he slowly builds into something fast, and he doesn't move extremely fast. And that's kind of, he's more of a technical type wrestler. And that's kind of how Bret Hart is. So to some people, they're boring matches. Some of them, I ain't gonna lie, some of them, I could take a Bret Hart match and put it in a top 10 somewhere.
One of my favorite matches of Bret's was WrestleMania 13 with Austin. That match was that's my go-to match. I could watch that every day and not get tired of it.
The big Iron Man match with the blood coming down his face and all that stuff.
Yeah, hit him with the bell. That's part of the reason I didn't like Bret so much, because I was always an Austin fan, and they always feuded. And then when he wasn't feuding with Austin, I liked HBK. He was feuding with HBK. I'm like, somebody I don't like, and I might pull for you just a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I remember that match when I was a kid. I remember watching that match when I was a kid, and I was hooked, man. Like, that made me an Austin fan. But I also love that match because it's one of those things that rarely happens in wrestling that people talk about because of that match. Was Bret Hart went into that match as a face, and he come out of that match as a heel.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hard to do that. Like, the way they did it, the way they had
mid-match.
Yeah,
mid-match too.
Mid-match, you know, and it was just like, what the fuck's happening here? I remember when Bret started turning, I was like, why is me being a kid going, why is Bret doing these things? Because when you're a kid back then, you believed in it. You believed it was real.
Definitely.
You did not know that it was a fucking show, you know, so it was like, why is he doing these things? And kayfabe was not dead yet.
And that's part of why older wrestling was so much better, because now it's like, breaking news, Cody Rhodes is signed with WWE. Breaking news, AEW.
Yeah.
I miss just watching Raw and be like, holy shit, Bret Hart. You know, like, I miss all the excitement out of it. Like, now it's just so much
the
you
bad
know
thing
before it happens.
Is that even the company themselves will keep it kind of under wraps, but they will leak it a little bit themselves just so you will flip over now to watch, because they've learned, like, well, if we tell them that CM Punk is coming, for instance, Rampage is not getting those views, but just because of the sniff that CM Punk might have signed and showed up, everybody flipped over and watched that shit, and it was worth it. Don't get me wrong. And AEW is the closest one I have found to do it, but like WWE hardly keeps anything on the wraps.
But here Maheen's coming to Raw.
I don't know who they got in their circle in writing back there that does the writing, but they be snitching all the fucking time about the stuff.
I tell you what, when Vahir Maheen comes to Raw, Fred will debut in the promo game. There we go.
Well, hell, then that's never, huh?
Well, hey, never say never in this business, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Vince might throw him out. Let's see here.
Remember, you'll never be champion here.
Yeah, there it is. For the brand that supposedly doesn't develop talent.
Sorry, I had to put that down. I'm not a championship holder. It's a little heavy on me.
How about an indie wrestler debut, possibly the fastest growing promotion in the state of Louisiana?
It's coming. It's coming. I promise you. That man has been pushing me since he started. He's like, "When you coming? When you coming? I'm coming. Just believe it." And I'm not coming alone. Not you. I'm coming with talent.
uh, the next question actually was the worst moment that you think that killed pro wrestling. I mean, I guess you can kind of answer what we kind of answered ourselves there, which was when kayfabe just died. You know, it's
When
not the
it
same.
started, when they started calling it sports entertainment, like I always grew up knowing wrestling was fake. Like I knew, but
Jericho
I
said that was a bad idea by creative, and all that's gone.
didn't, like I knew it was fake, but you could make it believable, and
Right.
it was believable back then. Then when it got to let's promote it as entertainment, that's really kind of
Well,
what killed it.
it did, but I also love this renegade outlaw anti sports entertainment angle that we keep
Yeah,
with wrestling fans and like AEW and them, you know, because that's now, I mean, Jericho's using it for heat.
yeah, he's
You
getting
know,
it.
yeah, he's getting it. You know, they're like, oh my God, is this motherfucker really about to start calling himself a sports entertainer now after him calling himself a pro wrestler for the past couple of years? You know, so it's great, man. Like in a way, it sucks. We'll never have the great days where we don't know it's a show. You know,
That's
it's
okay.
almost
I'm a promo entertainer.
yeah, like even for kids these days, they have phones and YouTube and all this stuff. They you can't even fool them anymore and make them believe it's a show for a while before it gets spoiled on them like Santa
Well,
Claus or
see,
some shit.
that's what's good about this indie stuff. Like my little girl, that's the only time she watches wrestling. She won't watch it on TV, but when we go to the show, you can ask Brandon Randall. She is heard over everybody because to her, it's like this is the greatest thing ever. So she don't watch it on TV, so she don't get all that. She just knows, hey, they're kicking each other's butt, and I like this.
Hey, those live shows are like I always said you can go to a boring show that it would be boring on TV, but if you go live, it's entertaining.
Yeah,
It's just true.
you
You're
get
live.
interactions. I mean, nothing's greater than starting a "you suck" chant or something halfway
Yeah.
through a match. You know.
Oh,
It's
with those
just-
entrances, some of those entrances now, the way they got them, the boom with Adam Cole and all that stuff when they do and they come out and
Yeah.
stuff. It's that
Or-
alone is almost like it's like a concert / theater is what you're
Or
getting.
Jericho, like
Yeah.
every week, myself included,
That
singing
fucking
along
song,
with it.
yeah, that fucking song. You can't help but sing that stupid
And
shit.
look, I've been listening to Jungle Boy's theme song for like 4 days straight. I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie.
I still do it. I do it. I see her the rotating. I mean, and I listen. I have the older stuff like the older Christian songs from WWE and all that stuff on my playlist.
My
man.
entire gym playlist is wrestling songs
Yeah,
because
I
they
mean,
will get you pumped in the gym.
when I used to work out when I was younger, like when I played basketball and stuff, they knew that when Tommy had the boombox that day, they was going to listen to like the volume WWF volume attitude stuff that come out. You know, it had all the Austins and the
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
songs and Edge and all them
I'm
stuff.
telling you, that pumps you up big time.
Yeah.
You just don't understand, especially like when you like stretching, fitting to go do something, and like time to play the game, and you're like, oh, I'm finna kick some ass. I'm about to open up a can.
Well, I know that you are a tag team champion now, but is there a higher peak that you want to reach in the EFED world, like maybe the Outbreak Championship or a World Championship or something like that down the road?
Honestly, I'm just happy I'm a champion. I'm gonna ride this one till they pry it out my cold dead hands right now.
I feel
Because
you,
I've been
man.
down that road with A-list. I'll just wait.
Hey, I'm here to tell you, man. I think, and I say this, and I don't want to like get up on my mountaintop or nothing, but I think guys sometimes after they win so many championships, they start forgetting how much those belts really mean and how much talent we really have here and how lucky you are to actually get one of the motherfuckers.
Not me. Look how hard I've been fighting. I've been scratching since day one. Hey, we're gonna have a new title in a fatal 9-way. Who wants to be in it? Sign me up, boss. Hey, you know me. I'm
A
game,
fucking
man.
fatal 9-way.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Hey, I've been in a barbed wire on a pole, steel cage, kicks rocks
shit.
match. Okay, against an extreme guy.
Oh, a fucking
I'm
fatal
down, man.
9-way. I'm dead. What got you doing promos?
Funny story. Bray Wyatt. Let me elaborate on that. I worked at where B. Randall works at, and we had to every once in a while we had to go work a rotation in the back on a computer, and my screensaver was The Fiend. And Brandon come in there putting his stuff up to go home, and he's like, "Hey, The Fiend, you like wrestling?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" And we got to talking about it, and he's like, "Man, I didn't know." And I was like, showed him where I met Mick Foley and all this. He's like, "Damn, I didn't know you was that into wrestling." He's like, "Well, let me tell you about what we do." And I was like, "Oh, that's badass." 15 minutes after he left, I messaged him. I was like, "Look, I got a character name. I'm ready to do this." And I dropped the snippet. Matt Mados remembers this. I dropped the snippet on the page, and he's like, "Oh, first you come in here and you're gonna steal my catchphrase? Better do your homework, son." And then 2 years later, I think I debuted. I've been here mahined it there for a while.
Oh, I love the old checking of the rookie of you need to go do your fucking homework, motherfucker.
Mados remembers because I put on an Instagram filter of like a demon. I was like, "Run!" And Mike's like, "Oh, okay, you want to take my lines off?" So yeah, that'd be Mr. Brandon Randall's the reason I'm in the promo game. I had no idea this even existed.
Yeah, it's
or that would have changed my entire post high school life.
I would be a lie if I said that someone has not came in and used a song that I was using for an intro or said some kind of one of my lines in a roundabout way, in an accident almost, and have to.
And I will not say what company that was with.
Yeah, we won't talk about that company.
Speaking of using gimmicks, I think I used somebody's glasses one time in a promo. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you, I laugh every time someone does it. It gives me a crack. I can't help but laugh at it because I think it's been done. I know like 7 times people's wore the copycat glasses, and
I had to. I was like, I cannot. My first match ever against TDC, I've got to do this. I went and bought the glasses and everything. It wasn't even some I had. I went and bought those.
All right. As I told you before, I didn't have a whole lot of time to make a whole lot of questions for you this week. As you know, our week's been hectic here. So, but what I will do is I got the same list of guys here. If you remembered when I did the show with A-List Alverson, I named guys, companies, anything it's all wrestling related, the stuff that I name here. And you basically give me the first thought that comes to mind.
Oh, Lord. Get the censor button ready.
Y'all are welcome to play along over here in the comment section also. LOD.
Favorite. I love them. Awesome.
Billy Kidman.
Hit and miss. The WCW Kidman was awesome. When he came to WWE and did this whatever you can run if you want to crap, I like the theme song, but he just kind of I think they misused him.
Yeah, I blame creative for the death of Kidman.
Yeah.
Back then, it was hard for guys his size to really.
That and Tori Wilson.
Yeah, DDP.
I'm pretty good fan of DDP. Like, I respect it. Like, he got into the game late and just came out of nowhere and just rose to success. And
you know what I love?
I'm more of a fan of what he does now.
You know what I love about DDP is DDP never let them pressure him into joining the NWO.
That's right.
It never happened. And he was the guy that first touched him also. So he's the guy that first got his hands on him. Kevin Nash.
Overrated.
I feel the same. I think he's one of the biggest pricks in wrestling.
I mean, he come in as a bodyguard as Diesel, and he was okay then. But then, I think he only got big because of the clique and the coming over to be the outsiders. And then when, their first time there, it's like, oh, Hogan's in the NWO now. Then it was like, ooh, Hogan. Everybody just forgot about them.
I always feel like Nash is like that ultimate jock asshole to people. So
yeah.
Next up, Kenny Omega.
I like Omega.
He's growed on me. He's still not my favorite though, but he's growed on me. X-Pac.
Hit or miss.
Hit or miss. Edge.
Probably should have stayed where he was at. I mean, I like Edge. I'm sucker for the comeback story, but I mean,
I don't know how I feel what he's doing right now with this weird heel character he's trying to pull off.
I don't know.
Cody.
I don't want to go there. He's clinging on to his daddy's name too much. Personally, wrestling wise, Dusty's better. Sorry, Dustin is better.
Always has been.
Cody, and because first of all, Dustin is not riding off of my daddy's Dusty Rhodes. He's always been, this is me, and he wrote
He's
the
always
Gold
been
Dust
fucking
thing
weird.
out. But Cody is my daddy's Dusty Rhodes, a Hall of Famer. I'm the shit. No, you're not, bro. You're just another famous daddy wrestler kid.
Let's see. I'm gonna skip some of these because some of these we've done talked about and kind of gave your opinion on. Kurt Angle.
Kurt's kind of my boy. I mean,
What?
well, it's hit and miss. Like I like when he first came and when he did his shit with Austin, like the funny gimmick that he had with the singing and stuff like that. I kind of like.
I'm gonna send you some clips. Let's see. Are you a Triple H guy?
Depends on what he's doing. DX Triple H, yeah.
La Parka?
Do we really got to ask that question? Have you seen The Mask? Do I need to get it out of the closet? I love La Parka.
Hell yeah, I do too. Roman Reigns.
Overrated. I can't stand Roman Reigns.
I don't think he's great in the ring. He's got that face, he's got that basic move set.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that great in the ring, but he is doing a really good story here lately. So I'll give him
He's
that.
a good heel. I'll give him that. I just
The best heel. He's the best. He's the best heel they've had in a while.
He's the MJF of WWE.
I wouldn't go that far, but he is. He damn sure ain't. He damn sure can't talk on the mic worth of shit.
No,
I mean,
acknowledge me. I'm your tribal teeth. Sounds like
you can tell that the good lines that he has is fed to him by Paul.
I'm sorry, Warden. I know you're listening.
Swear to me, Warden.
Swear to me.
Swear to me.
You're gonna die, Bane.
Jake the Snake.
Look, I've always been a fan of Jake. Just if he'd have got his shit together, he probably could have been huge.
You know,
I think he was kind of misused back in the day, but I think they did that because of his post-curriculars. Like, if he didn't do all that, I think he could have been big.
Well, the problem with Vince is that Vince back then believed it was very hard to turn you from heel to face. He did not like the fact that, like, he had his heel wrestlers and he had his face wrestlers. So, like, Hogan and them was the faces and Jake was one of the heels.
But really, Jake was both at the same time because, like, even when he was his heel character, like, he was still a face. Like, everybody loved him. All you had to do was pull that snake out of a bag.
And you also got to stop thinking how Jake's body looked and the type of wrestler he was. That was not Vince's idea of a world champion.
Yeah,
nowhere near
school.
it. Yeah, he was. China.
Hype, I believe. Like, her in-ring was pretty good, but I mean, I'd like to see her now with some of the female competitors they got now, because back then, I mean, it was more of a divas thing and not about the wrestling. So, I mean, yeah, she completely dominated.
He didn't have a physique. Yeah, he didn't have a physique. Are you an NWO guy or a DX guy?
Both.
It
can be done. It can be done.
Which versions?
I'm gonna go with like the original NWO.
It's one of my favorites.
And the spray painting people, and probably I don't really think it was the original DX, but like the kind of when they, like after Rick Rude left, when they first started, when they had the like windshield wiper hoods on.
Yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter Speed. Yeah. And then when they re-brought it back as that was funny, but then it kind of just went to, okay, these two old guys need to go sit down somewhere.
Let's see here. Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I'm over them. That's what I've been saying. I've been over them.
Yeah.
I've been over the Bullet Club.
NWO ripoff, if you ask me, kind of.
It is. It is. I mean, it's I just can't take how long they've been around. Like, God, it's like ended already. Fuck, y'all been around for fucking like 10 years.
And like, how many people's in there? 40, 50?
Hell yeah, yeah.
Shit,
You've had half the wrestling world in it. I mean, like, and it's stretched between Ring of Honor, New Japan, and all kinds of shit.
It was almost like that group that used to be in Revolution that had like 15 people in it. Was it GODs or some shit like that?
GOD, there were 15 people in that shit.
Sorry, Warden, again.
There was like, what was there, 4 of them or something?
4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
In a group with no factions, yes.
Yeah.
Just giving y'all hell, man.
Well, Mr. Stump, we're running on the hour. We are going to go ahead and start shutting it down. I want to thank you for coming on. Join us for the next episode, which is, let me go ahead and turn my page. If I'm, yep, I am right. That's correct. It is Mr. Warden. I believe I titled that one "Doing Hard Time."
Swear to me, Warden. Give me my milk.
I am really interested in talking with Warden because Warden is a huge wrestling fan. Warden is like a mega wrestling fan. He has so much shit as far as a collector. He's a collector like I am.
You just mentioned AEW, and he'd probably talk for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I'm the same way now. So I'll admit I've become an AEW mark. Like,
to be honest with you, since AEW, I have not watched a live, like, on TV show other than pay-per-views in probably 6 years.
No, I don't watch WWE at all. The only thing I'll watch is I tried the Rumble. I couldn't sit through it. It pissed me off. And then I've not watched anything since. And I will watch WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania. Because it's WrestleMania.
I'll have to watch it later because I'm going to be on a trip. But like I had to go to Texas one year for like 8 weeks to work, so I just hit the DVR to record Raw and SmackDown. I got home and I got caught up on all that in like 2 hours. I strictly fast forwarded to promos. I'm like, so I could get my storyline. And then I was caught up and I was like, this is the way to watch wrestling. And then AEW came along. I'm like, hey, wrestling again.
You know what I used to do with Raw when I did watch it with Raw and SmackDown? Because I was watching NXT when I used to watch WWE just this recently. Until they did that 2.0 bullshit, and I can't sit through that
2.0
fucking garbage. But what I would do is I would just pull it up on YouTube and watch and click the highlights, and they would chop it down for you and give you the gist base about it.
All you had to do is get on Instagram or Facebook, and they spoil everything.
You could fucking watch the whole fucking 2-hour show in like fucking 7 minutes. So it's like, that works for me.
Since you're old school, do you remember IOWrestling.com?
Do I remember
that?
what?
I think it was IOWrestling.com or something like that. Like you could literally get on there and it told you match per match who won.
I know what
like
you're
back
talking
in the Gap when like you was like, oh, I wonder who won last night, and you could get on there after every show and it was posted.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was like one of the greatest things ever. You didn't have to watch it. I used to get grounded from wrestling.
Me too.
You got bad grades, you're grounded. But no, go to bed. I remember one night I had to go to bed. I got in trouble and I had to go to bed. It was the episode of Raw where Foley come down the ramp in a stretcher. And I was like, what? She's like, I told you go to bed. I'm like, but Foley and she go to bed. I was like, damn, man, I missed it.
All right, guys. I want to thank y'all guys for tuning in. I know we held an audience the entire time for almost an hour. I want to thank you guys. Do not forget this. Let him show his tag out again. This weekend, the 26th, is Green with Envy. Your matches are NDT versus Kid Chaos versus Glenn Sexton. You also have the Bare Bones champion, Josh Steele, taking on the former Outbreak champion and Bossellini versus the returning Gene the Cripple Emerson. You also have the Outbreak championship that will be up for grabs. You have the current reigning champion Toaster Damas will take on a former tag team champion in the Villain. You also have the tag team match of the pay-per-view. It is a non-title match between the Sweet Brothers and Circus Hollywood. And then you have the main event, the World Championship of Revolution. You have Mr. Wallace versus A-list Alverson. Mr.
Fuck
Wallace
you,
getting
motherfucking
that
mother.
#1 contendership after he spoke up and said that Gene Emerson did not deserve the spot. They had the match at Fight Night. Mr. Wallace got the win. It would be Mr. Wallace versus A-list Alverson one more time. The last time these two faced off, we got that big Revolution history moment where they
Fuck
made
you, motherfucking mother. $10 says we get another rap song by A-lister, or he's in the shower or sitting out in the parking lot. I don't know what A-lister's doing. A-lister's like the living version of Fred. You have no clue what he's up to.
What also makes that very, very interesting is that Mr. Wallace almost got him. Mr. Wallace really brought the heat in that match. And if A-list don't bring that killer beat, I mean, and that killer heat that he brought, I don't think he wins that match.
That killer beat.
It was funny as hell.
He's got to be A-list badass or it ain't going to work out.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night.